Is actually I should take this CEO of Black Girl Ventures on there because I guess I don't really need it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start and do what I do. All right, today is 7/25, 24, and it is Emmett Till's birthday. And you're looking at today's news with Omi, and I'm gonna run down the news real quick. Here we go. Because I have promised that for a month I would do 5 days of news. I would do every day reporting the news. So here we go. Today is Thursday, July 25th. July 25th is Emmett Till's birthday. Just want to shout that out. It has now been 15 years since the federal minimum wage was increased, Huffington Post reports. Yesterday, July 24th, marked I don't even know that, a milestone. 15 years since the last time the federal minimum wage was increased on July 24th, 2009. The last of a series of hikes signed into law by former President George Bush in 2007. The minimum wage remains at $7.25 per hour, the equivalent of a $15,000 salary for someone working full time. Many local governments have increased the minimum wage, including a total of 60 cities and counties, which will raise the minimum wage this year. Some have also abolished the tipped minimum wage for restaurant workers. The federal minimum wage has been in place since FDR's New Deal legislation. That's crazy. $7.25 an hour is wild. Black Lives Matter denounces Democrats for anointing Kamala Harris. Black Lives Matter has criticized the Democratic Party for anointing Vice President Kamala Harris and called on the Democratic National Committee to host a virtual snap primary ahead of the party's convention next month. In a statement, they wrote, Democratic Party elites and billionaire donors are attempting to manipulate black voters by anointing Kamala Harris and an unknown vice president as a Democratic new ticket without a primary vote by the public. This is blatant disregard for democratic principles and it's unacceptable. They went on to say, we will do the hard thing. We will celebrate and honor the joy many in our community are feeling while calling out the undemocratic process and engaging in a vigorous discussion on the issues our community cares about. Earlier this week, Vice President Harris secured the spot of enough Democratic delegates to become her party's nominee. I didn't expect that. That wasn't on my bingo card to come from Black Lives Matter. That's interesting. What else? U.S. flag set ablaze. 23 people arrested as thousands protest Netanyahu's D.C. visit. Thousands of Palestinian supporters and critics of the ongoing Israel-Gaza war gathered in Washington on Wednesday in opposition to Benjamin Netanyahu before and during his address to a joint meeting of Congress. The protests were almost totally peaceful, and protesters waved Palestinian flags and held signs of Netanyahu under the word wanted. Some also blocked traffic in D.C. Right-wing media promoted more aggressive images for the protests, including pro-Palestinian protesters setting an American flag and an effigy in Netanyahu on fire, as well as spray paint on the Christopher Columbus Fountain and Liberty Bell reproduction with messages like Free Gaza, All Zionists are bastards, and Free Palestine. Additionally, the Palestinian Youth Movement posted an Instagram video of large numbers of maggots, crickets, and other bugs in the Watergate Hotel where Netanyahu is staying, claiming they were let loose in protest of Israel's war against Hamas. Police appeared to hit some demonstrators with a chemical irritant at multiple points during the day. The DC Police, Capitol Police, and Capitol Police said they arrested 15 people in total. The U.S. Park Police arrested an additional 8 people. Netanyahu spoke for almost an hour to Congress, saying, "Our fight is your fight, and our victory will be your victory." At least one Republican member of Congress and roughly half the Democrats in each chamber, as well as VP Harris, all skipped the speech. Vice President Kamala Harris speaks to Zeta Phi Beta sorority in Indianapolis. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke to members of the historically black sorority Zeta Phi Beta on Wednesday, saying, "We face a choice between two different visions for our nation. One focused on the future and one focused on the past." She said, "These extremists want to take us back to where we are not going. Take us back, but we're not going back. We are witnessing a full-on assault on hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights." Democrats and advocates for reproductive rights are hoping that Harris's bluntness on abortion, coupled with the administration's policies, will help sway voters to deliver them just not the White House, but key congressional seats as well. The speech took place in Indiana, which has not voted Democratic since 2008. The Harris campaign emphasizes what it calls the blue wall states of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania to get the needed 270 electoral votes. And Harris hopes to be competitive in North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada as well. White women white women mobilized for Kamala Harris and virtual fundraiser happened last night. Actually, it happens tonight. I think part of it happened last night. Aimed to match the success of its. I'm not gonna read this. So the way the Black Enterprise, this is the Black Enterprise headline: White women mobilized for Kamala Harris and virtual fundraiser aimed to match the success of historic Black women-led event. That could incite the wrong kind of energy from Black women, and I don't want that. Meaning, like, it sounds positive if you just read it plainly. Aim to match the success of historic Black-led event. That's like, yeah, come on, match our energy, but at the same time, that could also be looked at from Black women as, oh, look at him trying to do. I don't want that. So that headline is trash. A virtual meeting from white women to answer the call is underway following 2 historic Zoom calls from Black men and men, Black women and men. The Zoom call will take place Thursday night, which is tonight, and has been dubbed Answer the Call. The group standing up for racial justice also hosted a White Woman Against MAGA call on Wednesday. Okay, the White Woman Against MAGA call was last night. The Answer the Call is tonight. That call is hosted by well-respected Shannon Watts, the one that's tonight. The White Woman Against MAGA on Thursday. White men against MAGA are supposed to meet tonight. According to Atlanta Journal consultation, over 53,000 Black men joined the Black Men for Harris on July 22nd and raised over $1.3 million. The Black Women for Harris took place on Sunday night and raised $1.5 million for Harris in just 3 hours. Latina women also advertised their own call for action on July 23rd, making it clear Harris' support extends beyond race and gender. J.D. Vance writes forward for Project 2025 leaders' upcoming book. Republican Senator and Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance praised and wrote the foreword to the forthcoming book by the head of Project 2025. The book is titled Dawn's Early Light. A description from its publisher says it blazes a war path for American people to take back their country, and says conservatives should, quote unquote, burn down various, quote unquote, corrupt institutions, including the Department of Education, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and the National Endowment for Democracy, as well as Ivy League colleges and the New York Times. The book's original title appears to have initially been called Dawn's Early Light, Burning Down Washington to Save America. A blurb from Vance praises the book as genuinely new future for conservatism. In recent weeks, Donald Trump has tried to disavow and distance himself from the Heritage Foundation, President Kevin Roberts, and Project 2025. Kamala Harris requested vetting materials from 5 potential VP picks. New report says Vice President Kamala Harris has requested vetting materials from 5 potential running mates to join her, one of those being Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, another one being North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, another one being Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and Michigan Governor Tim Walz. Okay. Other names floated in recent days, including J.B. Pritzker, Governor of Illinois, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. What else do we have going on? Monday breaks the record for the hottest day ever on Earth. Twice this week, Sunday, then Monday, were the hottest days humans have ever measured, according to the European Climate Service. Monday was 0.8 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than Sunday, which was 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the previous day. The previous hottest day on record, which was July 6, 2023. In addition to the warmer oceans in Antarctica, the western United States and Canada and eastern Siberia especially were warm in the last few days. This is human-caused climate change in action, according to scientists. Yeah, Molly, you in danger, girl. Like that. That's what we at with this thing. NASA dedicated a building at Johnson Space Center to hidden figure Dorothy Vaughan, women of the Apollo missions. NASA dedicated a Johnson Space Center building after NASA mathematician Dorothy Vaughan, who was NASA's first African American manager, and worked at NACA. And worked at, is this supposed to say NASA or NACA? Oh, NACA. Worked at NACA and NASA for a combined 28 years. Octavia Spencer played her in the film Hidden Figures. NASA was also honored several other women who helped the Apollo mission succeed, including Vivian Ayers Allen, the mother of Debbie Allen, and Felicia Rashad. I did not know that. Vivian Ayers Allen, the mother of Debbie Allen and Felicia Rashad, helped with the Apollo mission. Wow. The ceremony was held on the day before the 55th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. What else we got going on? Okay, I think I've covered just about everything that you needed to know. I covered the cardboard beds yesterday. Snoop Dogg will be carrying the Olympic torch. The opening ceremony is tomorrow. Make sure you're checking that out. Cocaine sharks, predators off the coast of Brazil are testing positive for drugs. I covered that yesterday too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I didn't cover tech news today, but tomorrow I'll cover tech news and more other news. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is me. I'm Omi Bell. I'm reporting the news with most of the time none of my reactions or feedback. That's what I try to do. But I've committed to reporting news for a month, every weekday, 5 days a week. And so thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you hit subscribe so you never miss a day of news. If you're watching anywhere else around the internets, make sure, and you missed the top half of this, or you missed any other news from the last couple of weeks, or go to my YouTube at The Omi Show and hit subscribe. Make sure you never miss a day. All right, y'all have a good day.